Monarch Airlines, also known as in trading as Monarch, is a British airline based at Luton Airport, operating scheduled flights to destinations in the Mediterranean, Canary Islands, Cyprus, Egypt, Greece and Turkey, with additional charter services to Europe, the United States, the Caribbean, India and Africa. Owned by Globus Travel Group, the airline's headquarters are at Luton with other bases at Birmingham, East Midlands, Leeds, Bradford, Gatwick and Manchester. Monarch is the oldest UK airline to have not changed its original name. It has around 3,000 employees. Monarch Airlines carried over 6.8 million passengers during 2013, an 8% increase compared with 2012 and a record total for the airline. In June 2010, the airline was ranked 58th in the Sunday Times Top Track 100 listing the biggest privately held British companies in terms of their sales. The company holds a United Kingdom Civil Aviation Authority Type A operating licence, permitting it to carry passengers, cargo and mail on aircraft with 20 or more seats. History. The 1960s, Monarch Airlines was formed on June 5, 1967 with financial backing from the Swiss Mantegazza family, as a subsidiary of Globus Getaway Holdings. At the time of Monarch's inception, the Mantegazza family were the owners of UK-based tour operator Cosmos Tours. Monarch began commercial airline operations on April 5, 1968 with a charter flight from Luton to Madrid using a former Caledonian Airways Bristol 175 Britannia 300 turboprop. The airline's initial fleet comprised 2 Bristol Britannias. The airline acquired additional Britannias from the administrators of British Eagle in 1969, its second year of operation. This was the first time the company carried 250,000 passengers within a 12-month period utilizing a fleet of 6 Britannias. The 1970s, Monarch entered the jet age in 1971 when 3 Boeing 720BS joined its fleet. The airline's first commercial jet service took to the air on December 13, 1971. The introduction of the company's first jet aircraft type also coincided with the adoption of a revised livery. In 1972, the airline carried 500,000 passengers in 1 year for the first time. By 1976, Monarch had transitioned to an all-jet fleet following the sale of the airline's last Britannia to Greek cargo charter airline AFC on May 21 of that year. The changeover to an all-jet fleet was brought about as a result of the acquisition of a further 2 second-hand Boeing 720BS as well as the addition of a pair of BAC 111-500s, which had been sourced from British Caledonian and the administrators of the failed Court Line respectively. The 1980s. At the end of 1980, Monarch Airlines took delivery of its first new jet aircraft, a pair of Boeing 737-200 Advanced, which had been acquired on an operating lease from Bavaria Leasing. One of the newly delivered 737s was stationed at Tegel Airport in what used to be West Berlin in the days before the German reunification at the beginning of the 1981 summer season. The Berlin-based aircraft operated short to medium-haul charter flights to the Mediterranean and the Canary Islands under contract to Flug Union Berlin, at the time one of West Berlin's leading package tour operators. Monarch had taken over Flug Union Berlin's charter program from Laker Airways. The addition of the 737s expanded Monarch's fleet to 11 jet aircraft, comprising 1 Boeing 707-320C, 5 Boeing 720BS, 3 BAC 111-500s and 2 Boeing 737-200 ADVS. In 1981, new stations were opened at Gatwick, Glasgow, Manchester and Berlin Tegel. This was the first time Monarch Airlines carried 1 million passengers in a single year. 1981 was also the year Monarch became the first charter airline to order the Boeing 757-200, a high-capacity, medium-hull single-aisle plane powered by Rolls-Royce RB211-535C engines. Monarch's 757 order represented a major step change for a small airline. Its first 757 was delivered and entered service in the spring of 1983. This coincided with the introduction of an updated livery, the third in the airline's history. In spring 1985, the CAA awarded Monarch Airlines licenses to begin scheduled services to Malaga, Menorca and Tenerife. This enabled the airline to launch its first ever scheduled service from Luton to Menorca on July 5, 1986, under the brand name Monarch Crown Service. 1986 saw the acquisition of Monarch's first Boeing 737-300 aircraft. From November 1988, 4 of Monarch's 737-300s were leased out to Euroberlin France, a Berlin-Tegel-based Franco-German joint venture airline that was 51% owned by Air France and 49% by Lufthansa. Apart from the aircraft itself, Monarch Airlines also provided the flight deck crew and maintenance support for this airline. By 1990, 7 737-300s were assigned to the Euroberlin wet lease. On May 1, 1988, Monarch operated the first ETOP's transatlantic operation under CAA regulations. The Boeing 757-200ER GMONJ operated Luton to Orlando via Gander with 235 passengers, the first UK twin jet to ever cross the North Atlantic with passengers. Today it is commonplace on North Atlantic crossings. 1988 was the first time Monarch Airlines carried more than 2 million passengers in a year. The 1990s. In 1990, Monarch Airlines introduced the Airbus A300-600R, its first wide-bodied aircraft type, and opened a new purpose-built headquarters that also housed the airline's own Boeing 757 flight simulator at its Luton base. During the early 1990s, Monarch Airlines operated several Boeing 767-300ER wide-bodies on behalf of Alitalia Team, a unit of Italy's flag carrier, under a wet lease arrangement similar to the one Monarch had with Euroberlin France. In 1993, Monarch Airlines introduced the first Airbus A320 aircraft into its fleet. Airbus A320 family aircraft eventually replaced the airline's Boeing 737-300s. In 1998, Monarch Airlines leased 2 McDonnell Douglas MD-11 wide-bodied aircraft from World Airways for its long-haul operations whilst awaiting the delivery of a pair of new Airbus A330-200 wide-bodies. Following the A330's arrival in 1999, Monarch returned the MD-11s to World Airways. The new A330 wide-bodies permitted Monarch to serve long-haul charter destinations with a 2-class seating configuration, another first for the airline. The 2000s. Monarch's sole McDonnell Douglas DC-10 was retired from service in 2002 and was donated to Manchester Airport Aviation Viewing Park. In 2002, Monarch also unveiled a brand new livery, the airline's fourth. Also, the company rebranded its Monarch Crown Service Scheduled division as Monarch Scheduled. Monarch Scheduled continued to offer a full-service product, including free catering, bar service, hot towels, newspapers and in-flight entertainment. In 2003, Monarch Scheduled announced that it would open a new base at Gatwick Airport. The base opened on May 1, 2003 with services to Alicante, Faro and Malaga. In 2004, following the success of the low fares, no-frills airlines such as EasyJet, Monarch adopted a modified low-cost model featuring additional charges for food and drink. In 2005, Monarch leased a Boeing 767-300ER from My Travel Airways to expand its long-haul fleet. The aircraft was returned in 2010. In November 2005, Monarch opened a base in Malaga. The airline based one Airbus A320 aircraft there. Monarch launched 3 scheduled services from Malaga to Aberdeen, Blackpool and Newquay. The Newquay service was discontinued on April 30, 2006. About a year later, scheduled services from Malaga to Blackpool were also dropped due to low demand. On October 27, 2007, flights to Aberdeen were withdrawn as well. This resulted in closure of Monarch's Malaga base. On December 15, 2004, Monarch Scheduled announced that it would open a new base at Birmingham Airport. The base opened in April 2005 with new routes to Malaga and Tenerife. To operate scheduled services from Manchester, an Airbus A321 was acquired. Monarch became the airport's second-largest passenger airline in 2005 with 1.72 million passengers using its services from to the airport. Monarch's total passenger numbers increased from 4.55 million in 2002 to 6.5 million in 2008. In August 2006, Monarch ordered 6 Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner wide-bodied jets, primarily for use on long-haul routes. Delivery was planned to start in 2010. However, delays to the 787 project pushed back delivery to 2013, and in September 2011, the airline cancelled the order citing its strategic decision to concentrate on short/medium-haul operations. On April 27, 2007, Monarch Airlines started flights to Ibiza partnered with club brand Head Candy, naming the partnership Fly Candy. One of Monarch's Boeing 757s received a special Fly Candy livery with billboard Fly Candy titles and a special tail motif. The Head Candy partnership lasted for the 2007 summer season, with flights to Ibiza being sold from 4 major UK airports. It was then renewed for the 2008 summer season, offering the same services. This time Fly Candy livery was applied to GMONJ. Head Candy CDs and radio stations were available for purchasing to listen to onboard Monarch aircraft. In 2008, Monarch changed the name of its website from flymonarch.com to monarch.co.uk. It also changed its advertising slogan to the low-fare airline that cares. In 2008, Monarch provided the aircraft, an Airbus A321, to launch the ITV2 television program Kelbear. Celebrities were trained and took on duties performed by airline staff, such as cabin crew. The destinations to which Kelbear flew were mainly Monarch's scheduled destinations, including Malaga, Alicante, Tenerife, Faro, Ibiza, Mahar Cubden and Larnaca. These flights carried fare-paying passengers. The program first aired on September 2, 2008. The program has now finished with Lisa Mafia winning the series, Amy Lama copyright finishing second and Chico Slimani finishing third. 2010 onwards, after many years of operating profitably, Monarch Group, the parent company of Monarch Airlines and Cosmos Holidays, reported a large pre-tax loss of £32.3 million in the financial year ending in 2009. This necessitated a £45 million cash injection from the Mantegazas who have co-owned the group since its inception. The Mantegazas cash injection was accompanied by a change in strategy that saw Monarch Airlines changing its focus from being primarily a charter airline to becoming a predominantly scheduled leisure airline, with a target of 80% of its business being scheduled. The new strategy has already resulted in introduction of additional scheduled services to new destinations in Egypt, Turkey, Greece, Spain and Portugal, including the launch on May 23, 2011 of a 3x weekly scheduled service to the Greek island of Corfu the airline's first scheduled Greek destination from London Luton. France and Italy are expected to join Monarch's scheduled network in 2012. To increase Monarch's attractiveness as a viable alternative to EasyJet and Ryanair, its main low-cost competitors, all debit card charges were abolished and only a £10 flat rate is applied to credit card transactions. To highlight these differences as additional selling points, Monarch has introduced the advertising slogan Fly Your Way Every Day. Together with a new logo incorporating the airline's old capital M and crown. Also, a new livery was introduced. Although Monarch made a £1.4 million profit in 2010, it reported a £45 million loss in the financial year ending October 31, 2011 as a result of high jet fuel prices against the backdrop of a stagnant economy and political turmoil in the Middle East. Higher fuel prices increased the airline's annual fuel bill by £50 million. Monarch's revised business plan envisages a small loss in the financial year ending in 2012 and a return to profitability in 2013. In a related announcement made on October 31, 2011, Monarch confirmed the closure of its charter base at Dublin Airport. On November 3, 2011, Monarch received a £75 million rescue package for the airline. It was then announced that Monarch were to launch 14 additional routes serving new destinations in Italy, Croatia and Greece from their bases. The new flights commenced at the start of the 2012 summer season. Monarch also received 2 Airbus A320 aircraft to support the increased level of activity. The addition of these aircraft also marks the first stage of a medium-term plan to increase the fleet size to 40 aircraft in support of the airline's goal to carry 10 million passengers annually by the time the final stage has been fully implemented. Growing the fleet to enable an increase in passenger numbers will allow the airline to spread its fixed costs over a higher level of output, thus resulting in greater economies of scale. On May 3, 2012, Monarch announced that they were to open a new base at East Midlands Airport in autumn 2012, to replace some routes previously flown by Miberby, who ceased operations completely on September 9, 2012. On May 8, 2012 the airline announced operations from Leeds Bradford with 2 new winter destinations, Munich and Grenoble. They also announced plans for a large expansion in summer 2013. On July 10, 2012, it was announced that Monarch were to launch a new base at Leeds Bradford with 12 new destinations. The base opened on March 22, 2013. On December 13, 2012 Monarch announced that they have come on board as a new sponsor for Leeds United AFC, working in partnership with Leeds United to promote Monarch's new base and routes at Leeds Bradford Airport. On July 1, 2013, Monarch announced an order for a further 2 Airbus A321s. The aircraft are due to be delivered in April and May 2015 and are to be fitted with sharklets. On December 12, 2013, Monarch announced that Monarch Airlines had returned to profit in year ending October 2013 and announced that passenger numbers were up 9.5% to 7 million and in line to carry over 10 million by 2016. In the same announcement Monarch confirmed that it plans to order 60 new aircraft in an order worth $6 billion for delivery up to 2024 and would announce the successful tender in Q1 of 2014 from either Airbus, Boeing and Bombardier. On August 14, 2014, Monarch announced the closure of their East Midlands base. Ownership: Monarch Airlines is a wholly owned subsidiary of Monarch Holdings, which in turn is 100% owned by the Globus Travel Group. As of mid-2012, Globus Travel's shareholders included Emerald Investments, Atlantic Financial Services, Abaco Holdings. Destinations. Fleet. Current fleet. The Monarch fleet consists of the following aircraft as of July 2014. In July 2014 the airline announced as part of its fleet replacement plans that it had selected Boeing with the Boeing 737 MAX as the preferred bidder for 30 aircraft. Historical fleet: Monarch previously operated the following aircraft. Monarch Historical Fleet. Statistics: Monarch Airlines carried 6.8 million passengers during 2013. 6 million traveling on scheduled flights and 800,000 on charter flights operated by the airline. In-flight services: Monarch offers pre-bookable meals at an extra charge, as well as a buy-on-board service. During the flight there is the option to buy products such as fragrances on board the aircraft. There is a bi-monthly in-flight magazine including a travel guide, a map of Monarch's destinations, snacks on board and the shopping available to buy. In-flight entertainment is available on all long-haul flights, showing either television programs or films. There is also a limited IFE selection on medium-haul flights. Premium upgrades are predominantly available on long-haul routes, which include more legroom and entertainment. Monarch now offers a personal in-flight entertainment system for its passengers, via a mobile app called M-Player that can be downloaded for free on Android and Apple devices. The service is currently available on selected aircraft, but will be introduced across the whole fleet in the coming months. Awards: FlightOnTime.info Most Improved UK Charter Airline for Punctuality, a Eurosummer 2007, Travel Trade Gazette Airline of the Year, a Euroleisure 2006 and 2007, Travel Weekly Globe Travel Awards, a Euro Best Charter Airline 2009, 2010 and 2011, World's Greenest Airline ITB Berlin Travel Show, a Euro the #1 Greenest Airline 2011, Accidents and Incidents. On May 22, 2002, A Boeing 757-200 suffered structural damage to the forward fuselage in the area of the nose landing gear during landing at Gibraltar Airport while operating a flight from Luton. The captain had used an incorrect landing technique, applying full nose-down elevator. This control input resulted in a high-pitch down rate at nose wheel touchdown, in exceedance of the design limits, before the aircraft's nose wheel had touched the ground. No fatalities occurred. On March 17, 2006, the flight deck crew of a Boeing 757-200 lost visual contact with the runway after passing the visual decision point while attempting to land at Gibraltar Airport. During the subsequent go-around, the crew did not follow the correct missed approach procedures, but air traffic control provided effective heading control to avoid striking high ground. The lowest altitude of the aircraft when over land was 2,100 feet. Following the incident, ATC and Monarch Airlines changed their procedures to reduce the chances of repeating a similar occurrence. Notes and citations. Notes. Citations. References. British Independent Airlines since 1946, Volume 3 of 4. A.C. Merton Jones. Merseyside Aviation Society and LAAS. Liverpool, 1976. ISBN 0-900-2420-09-7. Berlin Airport Company a Euro monthly timetable booklets for Berlin Tempelhof and Berlin Tegel airports, April and October issues, 1981. West Berlin, Germany, Berlin Airport Company A, Flight International. Sutton, UK, read business information. ISNA 0015-3710 Simons, Graham M. The Spirit of Dan Air. Peterborough, UK, GMS Enterprises. ISBN A1-870384-20-2 Simons, Graham M. It Was Nice to Fly with Friends. The Story of Air Europe. Peterborough, UK, GMS Enterprises. ISBN A1-870384-69-5 Airliner World, July 2008. Stamford, UK, Key Publishing A, Air International, Volume 78, is 2, February 2010. Stamford, UK, Key Publishing. ISNA 0306-5634 External links, official website.